Father God. Me tell him I bless, me tell him I bless, me tell him I bless, me tell him I.
This is Love 101 FM, the family station. It's now time for us to go right into a live highlights. We're live on Facebook and we're also live on YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. So this is what I want you to do for me. Sign on, rock on, roll on, jump on. Whatever you gotta do. Just ensure that you and the crew are on the live because right here is fantastico. Now my guest today is none other than Sherwin Gardner,
This morning, you eat your saltfish, you
a native of Trinidad and Tobago.
you give it
He's a trailblazer in Caribbean gospel music,
you and me.
beginning his ministry at just 5 years old. He went on to release his first album at 17, fusing reggae, soca, and dancehall with powerful gospel lyrics.
Blessing of the city, blessing of the field. Bless come me know that Father God. Me tell him I bless.
With 9 Marlin Awards, 2 COTT Awards, and collaborations with global gospel leaders like CeCe Winans, Israel Horton, and Todd Delaney, Sherwin's music continues to inspire worldwide. His viral anthem, Find We Here, Blessings Find We Here,
Ready?
has surpassed 2 billion views on TikTok and 50 million streams, cementing his impact as a voice for this generation.
Want to do is touch up.
Through worship, tours, and new projects, Sherwin's mission remains clear: to lead people into God's presence and show that his blessings can find anyone, anywhere. Help me welcome Sherwin Gardner. Hi,
Blessing.
blessings to you. Welcome to a live highlights on the family station Love 101.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. How are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful. So we have some questions before we delve right into the interview. So these questions like this. When you're not singing or ministering, what's something you do for fun or surprising that you enjoy doing?
I'm right in that place. I'm actually in the studio right now, as you can see.
Yes.
Music, production, writing, and stuff like that. If I'm not singing, I'm producing. Outside of that, some of the other things I like to do. I like to play football, but I ain't got a chance in a while. Just been busy. So right now, I watch it. I'm a fan of the Premier League. My team ain't doing good right now, but
Which team?
I don't even want to call it Manchester United.
Lord, I knew it was Manu, you know. Oh my. It's
Yeah,
okay.
but I mean, we'll get back on our feet eventually.
Eventually. All right. What's your go-to comfort food, especially when you're back home in Trinidad? Because I know you travel a lot.
Right. Well, I live in the Bahamas, so go-to food here will always be pork chop, rice and peas, macaroni and plantain.
Oh, so you've moved from Trinidad and Tobago, and you are now living in Bahamas, you mentioned.
Yes, I've been in Bahamas for the past going on 7 years. Yeah.
What inspired you to move?
Well, when I first came to the Bahamas, I came because well, one of my goals is to be able to accomplish great things musically from the islands.
Yes.
I had the opportunity. I was signed to Ty Scott Records in 2016, and I had the opportunity to move to the US. But I just made a little decision to stick with it and say, God, I want to stay in the Caribbean. And when I got a job offer at Bahamas Harvest Church, and instead of taking the offer in the US, I took it in the Caribbean, and now it's all paying off. I mean, it's a faith move to show and to encourage other young people that your location is not the reason for success. We are borderless within the kingdom.
Yeah.
I'm traveling the world. I'm singing. I'm doing everything from right in the Bahamas, right in the Caribbean. So it means that if I can do it, you can do it as well.
Ah, lovely. What do you love the most about Bahamas?
It's quiet. It's a mixture of everything. So it's a mixture of quiet and loud at the same time, but it allows you to be able to meditate and do the things that you need to do. It's also very beautiful. Some of the best beaches here, along with your country, Jamaica. um,
Thank
along-
you.
um, there are various islands, so it's not just Nassau. I live in Nassau, but there's so many other islands. So a lot of things to do from a tourism perspective. As we say, we live where you vacation, where most people vacation. So sometimes I'll be walking and I'd see a friend coming off a cruise, and I'm like, "Yo, what you doing here?" You know what I mean? Which is crazy. So yeah, it's really beautiful.
Okay. Now, if you had to describe yourself in three words, what would they be?
Relentless, creative, go getter.
Mm, lovely. Nice words. What was the first gospel song you ever learned as a child?
Tomorrow, give my life tomorrow. Thought about today, oh, but so much easier to say that. And the first, so that was the first gospel song. The first hymn I learned was when he cometh to take up his jewels, all his jewels, precious jewels, his love and his own. So those would be the two first ones, yeah.
Okay. Who inspires you the most, Sherwin, outside of music?
Um, That's a very, very good question. So my inspiration mainly comes from God. So I can't really say that there's much people more than there's a collective of people that I would look up to and aspire to. But
Yes, yes.
majority of it, that would definitely be, I'm a real faith person, so I don't base things on other people or stuff like that. You know what I mean? I kind of base things on what God is here. And for me, I think a lot of times as Caribbean people, what happens is a lot of us tend to look up to people so much that end up becoming them. I'm
Mm,
always wary of that. So for me, I need to look up to God for the inspiration to do what He called me to do, because it's going to be different from Ty Tribbett, different from Kurt Franklin, different from Kevin Donswell. It differs for everybody. So you have to walk in your truth.
yes, yes. No, I had the privilege of experiencing you live concert. I
Mhm.
believe it was somewhere in Portmore on a beach. And the energy, I don't know how you're so energetic. Where you find that energy from?
And that's a natural born Trinity thing. I grew up next to a savannah. So I know me saying a savannah to you as a Jamaican, you will understand. Sometimes when we say savannah in other places, they ask, what is a savannah? But yeah, I grew up next to a savannah. So I grew up in sports, growing up playing football, playing, active as a child. But just from a musical perspective, as you know, Trinidad is the land of soca. So we are accustomed to that kind of thing and fusing music a whole lot. Um, we used to be doing soca gospel in church as children. So it wasn't hard to transition to do soca in terms of our ministry. We take all the old hymns, all the old songs, and the
Yeah.
drummer, the first beat, go-to beat is soca. You know what I mean? So I guess that's where it comes from. And you have to be into what you're singing. There's a level of entertainment in capturing people to be able to get them to hear the message, because before I could touch you, I must get your attention. So
Yeah.
if I can't get your attention, then I'm not doing the enough to get you in the right spot.
Now let's go back in time to when you just started singing in church at the age of 5. Looking back, what did those early years teach you about worship and ministry?
I'm a PK, so I grew up in a family of pastors and bishops and everything like that. My grandfather was the bishop of the New Testament churches. Um,
Mm.
at first, at 5 years old, we this is Jamaica, so I could be a little bit more Caribbean in this interview. Uh, we were singing for Rough Tops, right?
Yes.
It's a big family, a big, big family, cousins, brothers. We had this little get together, all of us singing for Rough Tops. I was actually 4 going on 5 at that time. And We Are the World was huge. Um, so I sing We Are the World as a little child, and I won the Rough Tops, but my uncle, he used to sing. He used to sing um in concerts and different things like that. He was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, yeah, you have a voice." So the
Yes.
next morning they put me to church to sing in church, and the first song again was When He Come Out to Take Up His Jewels. And I remember this older lady in church put $1 in my pocket, and she said, "This is a seed for the blessings that's going to come in the future." Now, to some people, that might have looked like she just give you $1. You know what I mean? But I didn't look at it like that. For me, it was like, wow, there's actually something in this. So from 5 years old, it was more so I understood I could sing. I
Right.
understood I have a voice, but I would say that the real assignment or time when I really understood the ministry aspect of it was when I was 10 years old, when I had a real encounter. So it was no longer mommy telling you to sing or uncle telling you to sing or family telling you to sing. It's now I'm on a stage in a big event venue in Trinidad called Spectacular Forum, and
Mm.
people crying. I'm feeling this warm presence over me. People came to the altar, and I'm singing "His Eyes on the Sparrow," and I know He's watching over me. And the whole church was well, it wasn't a church, a venue. So the whole venue, everybody lifted up their hands, and then I realized, well, oh, this there's something greater than the voice that is causing this effect, and that is when now it became purpose. So you didn't need to tell my parents didn't need to tell me this is what I'm doing, or nobody needed to tell me. The purpose was now given to me, that this is where God wants you to go as a little boy. So I remember going to school, telling my friends I'm going to be traveling the world and having my own studio, and they laugh and they say, "Boy, you're dreaming too big. You are Trini." You know what I mean? I meet these friends sometimes whenever I go back home, and they're like, "Yo, you remember when you said this to me?" You know what I mean? So it is a true testimony of that.
So growing up, you knew you always wanted to be a singer.
Yes, yes. And
Okay.
not necessarily a singer. I would say more so ministry, because for me it was always about life change. I didn't being a singer means I could have done secular or
Yeah,
other
yeah,
things.
that's true.
For me it was never that. It is the purpose was always to win souls, to go ye therefore and preach and teach to all nations.
Yes, yes. This talent that you have, this gift, it runs in your family?
Yes, so our whole family, everybody can sing. We have pastors and preachers. We have musicians on each side, my father's side and my mom's side. So there are multiple singers within the family. Sometimes, if I go places, my little sisters would back me up and different things like that too. So yeah, it's a family thing. Yeah,
Okay. How many siblings do you have?
seven. So it's Sean, Sherman, Sherwin, Sherman, Sheldon, Shenby, Shekinah.
Hold on.
I'll slow it down for you to get right. So it's
Yeah.
Sean, Shirma, Sherwin, Sherman, Sheldon, Shenby, Shekinah.
All right. All S's.
Yes, LSHE. So we used to say my dad passed in 2020, but we used to say he loves she. So he gave us all of them names.
So mommy's name started what starts with
It's
SH.
Merle and Russell. Merle and Russell. It have nothing to do with SH. It's funny.
Oh, okay, all right. I get you. I get you. Now let's talk about your debut album that came out when you were just 17. What was it like stepping into the industry so young?
It was very I would say very difficult at that time, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
um when we were younger, so early 90s, we were doing gospel reggae in Trinidad, and with no influence. So at that time, it was shut down by everybody. So a lot of churches, thank God that my mom trusted me. We'd go places and the pastors would tell us we can't sing this and it's devil music and different things like that.
Mm,
So then we started to incorporate drama with it, right? So I was always a storyteller, so I'd write the songs in a story form that
okay.
people could act with it, because the youths used to understand, but some of the more mature people couldn't understand. So that kicked down the door and the barriers. Now, in 1998, 99 was when um, that kind of changed for us, because now it Papa San and Chevelle Franklin got saved around that time. So that time now, remember we are little boys. We didn't come from the dance hall. We just doing gospel reggae.
Yeah.
So at that time, the movement was big in Trinidad. I've been traveling since 1994. I go into different islands because every time there was youth conference, they called for us because the youths love it, right? Now we
Right.
didn't know Jamaica had their own movement of gospel reggae or gospel dance at that time. So the first time I came to Jamaica, there's a song from Jamaica that I'm on. And a lot of people didn't know that I was on. It's called "Band Your Belly and Ball." We don't like what I want at
You're
all.
right.
Man, I fly like leaf out a tree.
Oh, that's you.
On them whole family. That's me. So
Wow.
I went with Danny Brownie, and then Danny was now building the whole yaw and all the different things like that. Uh,
Yes.
but when Papa San came, that elevated Christian reggae because at that time, Christopher, who wasn't really necessarily, I would say, real hardcore reggae, were the popular ones, you know? So it was a difficult process. We'd go places and doors close, and we just kind of pioneered through that until I met Monty G in the Bahamas, and I started working with Monty G, and it was the Bahamas and Trinidad, just traveling like crazy because now Papa San caused people who was saying it was devil music. He came from that, and now he's singing gospel. They realize, well, oh, well, then this could be a tool. You know what I mean? So he brought a little bit more validation to what we were doing almost 10 years before that, you know.
Yes, yes, yes.
It was a lot of hurt, a lot of pushing through, and I think God chose me because I'm as I said earlier, I'm very relentless. And I came from a family who, even if you tell me it's devil music, I'm gonna tell you the Bible says that the fruits you shall know them, and you've seen all these young people who out here listening to the gospel, it means these are
Yes.
the fruits of it. You as the pastors now need to take those fruits and grow the trees. You know, so I had opposition like crazy. And then
Yes.
I used to be the one who would be able to stand up because they know my mom is a pastor. They know I'm from that family. So you couldn't just tell me the Lord said not to sing this. You know my covering, you know my leadership. You know what I mean? So we had to really work hard to get to that point. I
It-
would say.
It's it's interesting to hear that as well because I know that you know in Jamaica as well they had the church. Some people still do. They have an issue with dancehall, reggae, gospel, and those things. So it's interesting to know that you're in Trinidad as well and the Caribbean as well, and they're still saying they're calling that kind of music like soca, gospel, like it's
Of
devil
course,
music.
of
It's
course.
very interesting.
Of course. And it was more difficult, I would say, for reggae than the soca, because remember, soca is the culture, right? So if we
Yes.
do soca, because we do soca so much in church, right? It's the same beat we use in church. There wasn't really crazy hitting us about that. But
Yeah.
I think what it would have been is that, remember, we taken those times we didn't have studio yet, so we wasn't creating original beats. So we taking beats from Sizzler, we taking beats from the world, and just singing gospel lyrics over it.
Them.
So in some people's head, that's all they hear. You know what I mean? So
No.
as time progressed, we started to do original stuff, and then all as the further we go, things start to open up. You know what I mean? But I'll always credit um, Chevelle Franklin and Papa San because their life change moments uh, help the history of Christian or gospel reggae within the entire Caribbean.
Mm.
So because people minds work with validation,
Yes.
right? When you see life change in somebody who was singing, radio is playing and turning up, in your mind, now you're like, oh, God could do that. But she's still singing dancehall at the time. But now they understand that she's singing it in a gospel form. All of
Yeah.
a sudden, they're like, yes, let God use her. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I
So
understand.
as God used her, it made it easier for everybody else.
I
So his
love
timing is just perfect.
I love that. So back to your album now that you released when you were 17, your first album. How many songs did you have on that? What's your favorite song from that album?
That's a crazy question. That's so long. I can't even remember. I can't remember how many songs, but that was actually the first album was actually a cassette tape. So we
Okay.
had like 5 and 5 or something like that. One of the most popular songs from then would be a song called Power in the Name. Um, and then there's another song called Lazarus that was very popular. Um, we also made over some of them. There's a song called He's Able. All those songs were in those days, those were really huge songs. Um, I don't even have versions of them right now. I think one of the things we're trying to do is remake some of them. Yeah.
Okay. Eh, eh, the power, is it from?
No, that's not it. That's
There's
a
a
different
different
power
power.
in it. Yeah, that's with positive.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a new power in the name. That I'm close. Yeah. That one used to go, power in the name, power in the name, power in the name of the
oh,
Almighty King. Me telling the power in the name. Right, that's how that used to go. So that was really old. Yeah.
okay, all right.
My God is so fine on the right.
Did I know you faced criticism, by the way, because you mentioned it, you spoke about it. How did you manage to get over the criticisms
So they know
at the time when people were saying, yeah, the song is not? How did you manage?
Um. Again, foundation is important. I think that once you have a good foundation in Christ and you have a relationship with Him, it helps a whole lot. So it doesn't matter. It didn't phase me at that time. I just knew that I had a purpose. And even to date, with the success and even with all the things that happen, there's still things you have to push through. And there's, especially being from the Caribbean, we are at a disadvantage from the perspective that there are still people in the world who feel like we don't have the best technology. There's still people who feel like we swinging on vines in some areas.
Yes.
So to show people that we are able to produce stuff on this standard is something that we have to work extra hard. I think one of our main issues is identity. We don't have a gospel or a Caribbean identity when it comes to worship or stuff like that. We soak up so much from the US and replicate the US that we sometimes are afraid to use the gift of our sound in the islands that God gave us to actually bless people. And that is one of our greatest key back. Because if you notice, there's a lot of Americans trying to do Caribbean stuff and
Yes.
still saying booyaka booyaka, which is outdated. Um, Instead of us taking the lead and having the confidence in what we do as Caribbean artists. I know Caribbean artists who go abroad and do covers and they have songs that they can sing. Why are you doing covers when God gave you a song for the world and a
Yeah.
song for the nations?
Wow, profound, profound indeed. Now, Sherwin, you've earned multiple Marlin and COTT awards. How do you remain humble and focused despite the recognition?
That I spoke about it before. So that I don't do music for awards, right? The accolades are good, but the purpose when I write a song or when I go into studio have nothing. It don't start with awards. It don't start with Marlins or Cot or anything like that. It starts with reaching people. And what happens is you are recognized when the Bible says be humble and you'll be lifted or exalted. You get recognized just based on the fact that there is purity in what you do when you
Yes, yes.
focus on kingdom business. You know what I mean? So those things are great to know that you accomplish it. It helps.
Mm.
It helps in terms of getting you in certain rooms and breaking down certain doors. But once we start understanding that our purpose is bigger than a plaque, then you will actually receive the plaque, which is the crazy thing about it. You know what I mean? So a lot of people focus on the plaque and wondering why this song I write this. I thought everybody would like it. Nobody like it because the basis of the backbone of what was written from a place of self and not of a place of relationship. You have to understand that relationship with Christ is important, and that is what I can't speak on behalf of Jamaica in a national level and talk about how many laws or talk about the places or I can't be a tour guide in Jamaica because I'm not connected to Jamaica and don't have a relationship with Jamaica where I know. But if you ask me to be a tour guide in Trinidad, I can. because I have a relationship and I'm connected. There's a lot of people, but I'm familiar with Jamaica. I could tell you where I got good food when I came here and there. You understand what I'm
Yes,
saying? But
yes.
that's how a lot of Christians or ministers are when it comes to music. They are familiar with God. They don't even read the Bible, but
Yeah.
they're writing songs on His behalf.
Wow.
Using Chinese proverbs and saying the word of God says the family that stays together prays together. Find it in the Bible. It's not there because it's a Chinese proverb, but we've heard it so long that you think that is in the Bible.
Bible.
So you say the word of God said that. You understand what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
is something that keep happening a lot, whereby we familiar with the topic, but we never really study the topic enough to really go deep that we can minister to people.
What's the best advice you've ever been given?
Um, Relationship first. The world is based as kingdom people. The important thing that we want to do is change life. Life change is important, and life change is a journey. There's different vessels for life change. Meaning, I know that when I sing and I do an altar call, it don't stop with me. I'm gonna leave your country, and there's a shepherd or a pastor and the different people who need to take what we done, that seed we sow, and then
Right.
develop it from there. So the best advice I've gotten in a long time is that understand that who I am. I'm not Marshall Montano. I'm not Shensia. I'm not Sizzla Kalonji. I represent the kingdom. So if I'm representing the kingdom, I need to walk like that, talk like that, be like that, sing songs that represent the kingdom. I need to live that life. I need to fellowship. I need to be in church. Not because I'm showing God. That means I'm going to stay home every Sunday and never refuel or taking the word. You know what I mean? Everybody
Yes,
talking
yes.
about, boy, nah, church, this church, that church, whatever. The church is like a hospital. The people in church are people. You call them church people. I just call them people because some people, just like you and just like me, have
Yeah.
issues they're dealing with and they need fixing. And that is why they're in church. So you're going to get church hurt because there are people. Once we stop saying church people and realize life change starts with everybody, because while you complaining about church people, you are somebody complaining about you because you
Mhm.
still are living right. So at the end of the day, for me, is understanding that, hey, if tomorrow or day after, God forbid, I lose my voice and I can't sing, I still have to make it to heaven.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I
That's the
understand.
important thing. Some people right now, if they lose the voice, they're gone.
Mm.
Their voice keeping them in the door. But it's our lifestyle, is our relationship with God is what need to keep us in the door.
Yes, yes. Now you've done a number of collaborations. Is there a dream collaboration on your list still?
Always my dream collaboration was always Byron Cage and Kurt Franklin.
Ah,
And the reason why Byron Cage is because the basis of the sound that I have now is from black gospel. I used to listen a lot of black gospel. So
yeah.
I found a way to fuse that with reggae, dancehall, and soca. So there's a lot of progressions in my live shows. There's a lot of big hits and stuff like that. And people wonder, well, yo, your stuff sounding so big. Yeah, it's sounding big because I love gospel music. I love progressions and hits and runs. And, the first time I came to Jamaica to sing, we were practicing. And I remember the guys in the band room at the time was like, yo, Virgin, a whole heap of run y'all having at the music. We not play reggae like this, my youth. Because they are saying we every time reggae is normally one loop. We playing progressions at the end of them bars, and that was me. That's just what I love to do. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Fast forward, you make me stronger. A bunch of progressions. I called Kevin and I said, Lord, burn me out. Now you're all doing it. You know what I'm saying? So time evolved, but that is some of the things I really like. So Kurt Franklin, again, big, big grooves and chords and stuff. That's what I love. So
Um,
don't worry, it coming soon.
okay. All right. Give me your best Jamaican impression accent.
I know if I have a best Jamaican impressions. I don't know. I don't know
You
the
did good.
accent. It just has happened sometimes, like how I did a
I
little
want
bit
to
just
go.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
just has happened.
oh, it just happened. Okay, all right. So we're gonna pause and do a little game. It is called Sherwin in 10. So you have to answer quick and fast. Coffee
Okay,
or
no problem.
tea?
T,
Sunrise or sunset?
both
Studio recording or live performance?
live performance,
Soca or reggae?
both.
Sherwin, you're
You ain't
supposed
getting
to
me
be
in trouble
choosing
for that one.
supposed to be choosing one. All right, if you weren't a singer, what job would you be doing?
I think graphics and I still do that. So I'll have to try to go outside of that.
Yes.
Um, Media, I'll be in media,
Media, as in
TV production, video
okay.
production, that kind of thing.
All right. Who was your childhood hero?
Um, my my grandfather.
Your grandfather. All
Mhm.
right. Which gospel song never fails to lift your spirit?
Here I am to worship.
What's one food you could eat every day and never get tired of?
Fried plantain.
You Caribbean, you know. If you had to choose one, Grammy Award or leading one soul to Christ. I mean, I know the answer.
One soul to Christ.
Of course. Finish the sentence. Sherwin Gardner is happiest when.
He's in worship.
Oh, okay, lovely. Love that. All right. Now let's talk about Find Me Here. Blessings, Find Me Here. That went viral and touched billions worldwide. What was it like watching that song explode globally?
I mean, it was. I'm doing it for very long. I think it was a different type of feeling. Mainly because I don't know if you know the stats of the song, right? So within the first week of January 2024, it was the number one trending song in the entire world,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So in that first week, that is in itself an achievement as well. That was unique, but for me, it was also something that I was prepared for more so because I know that God was going to do something major within my life. But it was still a learning process because now I'm now sitting at tables and I didn't expect to be at that particular time in my life. You know, being 45, um, you thinking, well, from here on out, just now I'm gonna just start preaching and that's the end of that. But then God just had a different plan. So yeah, it was a very unique feeling.
You're 45?
46.
You're for, you look good for 46.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You don't look your age at all. Now, Sherwin, what or why do you think that particular song, Blessings Find Me Here, resonated with so many people?
I think it gives a spirit of expectancy, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Which is the breeding ground for miracles. So people have that. It was just the right time for it, and it was a personal prayer. So it wasn't a song per se. Remember, this started as my personal prayer. I was actually waiting for another song to release, and the purity of that. Lord, I'm waiting. I need something good to happen now. You know what I mean? So I think because that was so pure to me, it became an anthem for the others and everybody else that, hey, wow, this is how I feel. I want something good to happen. Actually, the song is still trending. So we crossed 2.6 billion
Yes.
already in terms of views. Now, recently we found out that we almost up to a billion usage, which is now another milestone.
Yes.
Right, from people using it in their videos. So daily, I would see the stats, and I just ask them to give me the latest updates for the parts that I can't see, so we can see how much we reach.
Love that. And I must say, congratulations. You're doing so well in the gospel music. You're ministering and touching lives. So keep it up.
Thank you.
Ah, you're welcome. Now, having done so many songs, maybe about how many songs do you think you've done so far?
Whew, that's a good question. It's over the thousands because I also write for other people. So
Oh,
um, I have 18 albums. So yeah,
that's a
it's a
lot.
while. Yeah.
18
Um,
albums.
yeah, I didn't. I actually somebody asked me that recently before in another interview, and I said to myself, I need to check. So I'm actually going to check because there's a lot that we took down because we want to redo and stuff like that too. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm definitely going to check that.
Which would you say are your top three?
Top three would be, well, of course, Find Me Here, I Worship You, and Because of You.
Mm. Give us a piece of I Worship You.
Oh, sometimes I sit and think about all that you've done. No, no, no. I think about your faithfulness and how you send your only son. Yeah. Then I realized that there is none. Oh, no, 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 no. None can compare to Jesus, every single thing you've done. So I say, with all of my heart and all of my soul, I worship you, oh Jah, yeah. The Lord come down and take control, take control. I wanna sing this song again with all of my heart and all of my life and everything. Me to lift up and me to big up King Jesus, the King. Whoa. Lord, come down and take control now.
Oh, I love that. You also did point it up.
Pointed Up, yeah. Pointed Up. I don't think Pointed Up is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I think
I
I
know,
did
but
Pandemic as well. So that was the title track of the album I did in the pandemic. Yeah.
point it up. I love that song. I just want you to know. I love that song. Thank
Great,
you.
great.
We have some voice notes from some listeners. Time is going, so let me just take maybe one or two. This is
Mhm.
from Sister Ray Ray. Let me play it for you so you can hear.
Wow, wow, wow. I have been listening to this gentleman from Trinidad, and I am telling you, this is powerful and selfless. Yes, it's all about reaching the people, it's all about God. And I like how he terms it. He cannot talk about Jamaica. He don't have a relationship with Jamaica, but he can speak about Trinidad. That is it with Jesus Christ. A lot of us, so we know Christ, but we do have a relationship
Relationship
with
with
him.
him.
So we don't know him voice, we don't hear nothing. No. Just as Wednesday was asking me a lot of questions, his voice makes the difference. Bless up, brother, and keep up the good work.
I love that. No, as we
Mhm.
wrap over the time, so I can't take any more. What is the best advice you have for young and upcoming gospel artists? Not just young, but gospel artists in general.
It would be the same as what she said, what I said earlier. Um, your relationship comes first before the music, before anything else. I would say, seek God. Even this week, I have some upcoming things that we doing, and before we get into it, I take 2 days to fast, to pray, and to seek His face for it. That is what makes the difference with some of us. That makes the difference with why a lot of people would see us and say, "Yo, how come he doing this, or how come he's here and he's there?" We there because we taking the time to really seek His face. You know what I mean? So if you really want to do this, ask God firstly, what is my song, God? What do you want me to say to your people? I need to hear from you. Don't try to be Kevin Dunswell. Don't try to be John Mark. Don't try to be Prince Sarge. Be you. Be who God called you to be. Everybody trying to replicate something and then never really go to the man who gave you the gift and say, hey, what you want me to do, God? You know what I mean? That is where you got to go. Go back to the book, go back to Him, and really take time and get to know Him so you can hear His voice.
Okay, so you're working on a project now.
We have well, this is not just a me project. God has really opened up some doors for me, and I am one who loves to bring people along. So we bring in the Caribbean along on this one. It's going to be huge. It's called Island Tribe Collective,
Oh,
and people are going to be hearing a lot more about it from about next week. We're going to launch out. The Instagram and the socials are already out. Kevin is a part of it. There's a few Jamaicans who are going to be in the building. Trinidad is in the building, Barbados, St. Lucia, people from all over the Caribbean. This is going to be something that will epically change the face of gospel music for the Caribbean.
Love. I can't wait to hear that project. You said next week we can hear?
Next week, you're going to hear what is happening. We're launching out the project, but outside of that, it's something that all I can tell you is something that is going to change Caribbean gospel.
Love that. Looking forward to that, Sherwin Gardner. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop and share your story with us. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me. God bless. And hope to see you guys soon again.
Yes, we hope to see you here soon as well.
Yeah, it's long overdue. It's long overdue. So
Long
we'll make it
overdue.
happen. We'll
All
make it
right.
happen.
Yes, indeed. Sherwin Gardner, right here inside Alive Highlights. My, what a story. I'm out of time. Well, long over time. Hey. You see that sound? Cannot